Hey everyone, this is Chris, but my friends call me Stones. Thanks for checking out my channel, and thanks for checking out my latest video on this beautiful winter, rainy Ohio day that we're having. I wanted to record this video again. I tried recording this video yesterday, and then when I went to upload it last night, I realized that it didn't record properly, so I wanted to try it again because I really wanted to show you everything that I got from one trip at my Goodwill outlet. Goodwill bins, Goodwill clearance, whatever you want to call it. If you're not familiar with the Goodwill outlet, what it is supposedly, it is all the merchandise that once sat on the shelves of a normal Goodwill store but didn't sell. It failed to sell, so they shipped it off to the Goodwill outlet to be sold at clearance prices or by the pound. So instead of selling the individual items at set prices, at the Goodwill outlet, they charge you by the pound. So it used to be at my Goodwill outlet, it was $1.19 a pound. As of January 1st, they brought it up to $1.29 a pound, which is still extremely reasonable compared to other Goodwill outlets that I've heard of. I've seen other YouTubers where they say $1.89 a pound, $1.99 a pound, and even over $2 a pound. So even with the price raise, it's still pretty reasonable. So now I go to my Goodwill outlet during the winter time when we have no yard sales or garage sales. I will go at least once on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I will sometimes even go more often than that. And I have been known to go as often as like 3 or 4 times in one day, just depending on what my schedule's like, how much inventory I have, and how well I think I did in that specific day in the bins. So that's what I do. Now my theory is that a lot of the stuff is not stuff that actually was on the shelves at a Goodwill store, and I'll get to that in a minute. So again, I got everything here. I think it was slightly over 24 pounds, and I paid $31 after tax. There we go, $31 after tax, and I rounded up. Now, some of you might question why I round up or object to rounding up because they get everything for free and their prices are out of control anyways, so why would you give them more money and they misuse the money? Besides all that, I kind of agree with that, but the reason why I round up personally is because my Goodwills have a reward program. And the reward program gives you points for every dollar that you spend. For rounding up, you get extra points, and then also not using a bag or using one of their bags. If they don't provide a bag to you, you also get points for that. I bring my Rally Roots tote bag, so that works for me. So every time I go to the Goodwill outlet and spend money, I earn triple points. And very quickly, for those points, you earn a 35% off coupon that's good on one whole purchase. Not just one item, but one whole purchase. Now, this coupon is not good at the Goodwill outlet, but it is good at any Goodwill store. So those prices that everybody complains about, this is how I get it cheaper. So you may not have a reward program, but that's the reason why I round up. So once again, this is what I got from one trip at the Goodwill outlet. It was yesterday. And what I do is I leave my house about 9:15 or so. So I get there with just enough time to look through all the bins that have already been put out before they kind of herd us into one corner of the store as they rotate the bins again at 10 o'clock. So this is what I found for $31. So first of all, there's this Tiger Electronics game. This is a handheld game by Tiger Electronics. I didn't know they made them this way, but there you go. There's the screen. Now I already started fooling around with this. I don't know if it's my batteries or if it's this toy, but if I can get this working, it's worth about $15 to $20. Sealed by Bible Man DVD. Single DVDs don't do really well, but I grabbed that because it's sealed, maybe $5. Rubber Ducky. I'm starting my new pile of rubber duckies for Mountain Man Treasure. If you don't know who he is, go look up his channel on YouTube. He's another reseller out of Montana. And he uses these rubber duckies to raise money for the Gary Sinise Foundation, which is a very good cause. And I get rubber duckies quite often at the Goodwill bins, and I've probably sent him 3 to 4 boxes of them so far. and I just sent one out to them, so I'm starting over again, and I've got one more so far. So now here's a reason why I believe that the Goodwill outlet does not only have product that was sent to a store and never sold. My theory is most of the stuff that they get is not stuff that actually sat on the shelves of a store and didn't sell. My theory is it's actually donations that, because they're underhanded, they're understaffed, they don't have the manpower, they don't have the room. It's stuff that had been donated and never made it to the shelves. They just decided, let's make some room. We're never going to get through all this. Donate to the Goodwill outlet. Let them get rid of it. Brand new Lego, you can't tell me that that wouldn't have sold if it sat on the shelves of a Goodwill store. The other reason why I believe that this is not stuff that sat on the shelves of a store is because of the packaging. So this is a Ziploc bag of Polly Pocket dolls. Again, I did a video. My last video, I think, was Christmas weekend, New Year's weekend, I don't remember, and I talked about Polly Pocket and how they're quick sellers, they're good money makers, and why no one picks them up. And I found this bag of Polly Pocket just recently, well, yesterday actually, and it's in a Ziploc bag. My Goodwill stores do not sell things in Ziploc bags, so that's another reason why I know this stuff never sat on the shelf of a Goodwill outlet. They put them in a special bag, they tape them up so you can't open them up and take things out of them. They would never put stuff on a Ziploc bag, so that's another reason. The third reason why I believe this to be true is I never see one of the annoying Goodwill price tags on any of the stuff that I pull out of the bins. Those price tags are hard to get off, and it would be a waste of time for them to take the price tags off of stuff before they send it out to the Goodwill outlet. So you should be seeing a lot of stuff with their price tags on it, but I barely see it at all. So that's another reason. So again, I found more Polly Pocket. In my last video, I talked about Polly Pocket, and these are more the classic Polly Pocket with the rubber clothing. I talked about that before. That's kind of the standard design. There are a couple of Disney princesses in here, so I'm going to do a follow-up video because I learned a lot about Polly Pocket since then, and there's some other versions of them now that you need to be out to be looking for. And also in my last video, I talked about I have never found one of the original vintage Polly Pockets, and guess what I found? An original vintage Polly Pocket. This is why they were called Polly Pocket. So literally the whole play set and everything could fit in a girl's pocket. So here's a whole hair salon. Here's the actual size of the Polly Pocket from that time, of course, so that it could fit in the compact. This is the new Polly Pockets now, so big size difference. And this folds up into a compact, and that's why the name came, that's why they came up with the name Polly Pocket, because everything fits in your pocket. So that being said, this one is incomplete. There's what appears to be, there's always two figures that go with each compact. This only has one. So with the one missing, I'm assuming it's worth about $30. If it had both figures in it, it's worth like $40. So follow video on Polly Pocket, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in another video. Now here's the fine of the purchase. This is what made everything so heavy. I normally don't spend $31. That's a lot of weight. I think that's like about 24 pounds of stuff based on $1.29 a pound. These were extremely heavy. And these were in one of the new bins that they pushed out at 10 o'clock. I saw the name Epson. I know Epson ink still sells well for me. Now other brands of ink I quit picking up because it doesn't sell for me anymore. For some reason it just won't move. But Epson still does for some reason. And then when I saw these, they looked unique, they looked original, just different. I've never seen any ink cartridges like this. And then the other thing that kind of cued me later on was all the different colors that's dedicated to just one ink cartridge. So if you're familiar with standard ink cartridges for home printers or whatever, you either have a printer that takes two different ink cartridges, a standard black, and then the other one is the tricolor or the multiple color cartridge. That's what mine does. Or you might have one like an Epson that has a single cartridge for what, 5 different colors, something like that. Black, cyan, magenta, yellow, something like that. So those 2 types. So to see a printer that has ink cartridges for like green and orange, I've never seen green and orange ink cartridges before. So I knew that these had to be something special. I started grabbing up. No one else was interested in them. Matter of fact, people were handing them to me. And then after I thought I got all of them, I walked away, and one of the guys that was at the bin with me found more and walked them over to me. So, and then I was like, if these guys knew how much these things were worth, they probably wouldn't have done that. But I'm grateful for the friendships and the attitude of the people at the Goodwill outlet. So these are for the Epson Stylus Pro 4900, as you can see right there. And I looked up this printer I just did some research, and this printer in brand new condition retails for just under $2,500, which is crazy, which tells me it's probably like a commercial grade printer or something like that. And once again, it has to be with all these different colors. I've never seen ink cartridges with all these colors. And in my last video, I tried pricing these out for you. Of course, it has to do with whether it's expired or not. Ink expires. Now, ink is still good after the expiration date because really the only point of the expiration date is that the manufacturer can't guarantee that the color will be perfect or fresh or whatever. They just couldn't guarantee the quality of it after the expiration date. That's the whole point, but it's still usable. So the price really depends on how much later it is after the expiration date. Now, obviously, you don't want any ink that's 20 years old, but the expiration dates on these run from 2018 to 2022, so just recently expired. So now, out of all these different colors, most of these range in value because they're expired, because the different colors are, I guess, more desirable. They can sell anywhere from $20 a piece. And the most rarest color out of all of this was this light black. What is light black? So photo black, that makes sense. Matte black, that makes sense. Light black, and then a light black? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But this light black, even an expired one, sells for about $75 on the low end and as much as $100. So I have 23 here. So if the average cost on selling price on the low end, $20 a piece, 23 of them, that's over $450. If you bring the average price up to more like $30, which is more of a reality, now you're talking $600, almost $700. I took pictures of all these. I was going to list them individually, but I decided against that because what I saw on eBay, because figuring out exactly what to charge for them based on the expiration date is just really hard. Like, the more expired it is, the less it's worth. So to find that sweet spot, I just knew I was going to sell a bunch of them right away, and a bunch of them were probably going to sit. So what I did was I lotted these up together, and I have one listing. Because I noticed on eBay, all the listings that had just a ton of them sold really fast and really well. So that's the route I went. So I have 23 here, and I have them listed for $399 free shipping. So $399, all this stuff is going to pay probably for the 31. Again, the Polly Pocket's 25 at least. So that's going to pay for most of it. So this is going to be all profit. We're talking, $400 profit from a $31 purchase. So be on the lookout for another Polly Pocket video because I learned a lot more about those, and I have to add these to my listing anyways, so I'll record a video. Thanks for watching.